You done stuffing your face?
Yep. For now.
Take a 45-minute break to record.
Yeah, I'm actively eating all the time. Everything is just a break.
Yes.
Whenever I'm not eating.
That's what my life feels like.
I'm fine with my life being that way. That sounds great.
For me, it feels out of control, but
It'll
What's
feel.
Huh?
I was saying it might feel that way in the future, but right now,
You're young enough that you're burning it off.
yeah, my metabolism is still high enough. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I remember eating at Shelby's grandmother's, and Shelby's aunt was like, how do you eat so much and stay this skinny?
Well, I used to be able to do that in high school when I was playing volleyball all the time. I just burned everything off because I just was playing constantly. Then and when your dad and I first started dating, because that's how we met. We met playing volleyball, and then we just kept playing doubles. And yeah. Anyway. So I wanted to tell you about a book I read towards the end of last year.
Okay.
It didn't come out towards the end of last year, but that's when I finally got around to reading it. It's called The Little Book of Hygge.
Of Hygge?
Hygge. It's spelled Hygge.
Is it the sequel to Horton Hears a Who?
Horton Hears a Hygge?
Horton Hears a Hygge?
It is. Every time I look at how it's spelled Hygge, I think it should be pronounced Hygge, but it's pronounced Hygge because it's Danish, and they
Gotcha.
spell things in different ways than we do. So, and it's by somebody. The first name is Meik, and the last name is Wiking. And I'm not sure. I know how to pronounce those, how it would be in German. And I know there's some similarities, but I don't know how it is in Danish. So I'm just going to pronounce the first name as Meek because of Thor Ragnarok. It might be Mike. I don't know. But anyway, so the full name is The Little Book of Hygge, Danish Secrets to Happy Living. And the guy who wrote it is the CEO of the Happiness Research Institute in Copenhagen. There is an entire research institute dedicated to studying happiness.
That's kind of comforting, actually.
Right? It's kind of funny that you mentioned comforting, but which I'll tell you in a minute. But that's I think it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So the concept of hygge is, you know what? I think I have an actual definition instead of me trying to stumble through it. Well, the term derives from the word that means to embrace or to hug. But anyway, it's a whole it's a whole concept about finding comfort and warmth, and so it's like some of the examples in one of the reviews on the book is like falling asleep in a warm bed with rain pitter-pattering on the roof, baking cookies just so you can eat some of the raw dough, curling up with a book and a homemade blanket, candles, tea, a fireplace. Like, these are the kind of
a few of my favorite things.
Wow, you burst into song from a musical.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Actually, that's not surprising to me because you burst into Hamilton songs all the time.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so it's this concept of like it's also fostering togetherness. Like, you can do hygge by yourself, but it's also like kind of meant to be a togetherness thing. And coziness is sort of like the rule, right? So
you have to be cozy.
That's you will be cozy. So like the pictures, if you do like an internet search for hygge, like it's almost always a fireplace, people wearing warm fuzzy socks.
It's the lo-fi girl.
There's what?
It's the lo-fi girl feeling.
What's a lo-fi girl?
Look up Lo-Fi Girl. Very popular YouTube channel. She's the one who like started off the whole like cat sleeping in the window while someone's studying.
What? It's a music and lifestyle brand, according to Google, that creates comfortable and stylish apparel and accessories for people who are passionate about music, art, and culture.
Yeah, it's so basically what it is it's a stream that'll be live for like hours on end, and it'll be someone studying at their desk with like a cat in the window.
Oh, these are animated.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And they like give off that little feeling of comfort.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, but that's kind of the concept of hygge is finding that like comfort and coziness and everything. And the book was really interesting because you think where Denmark is, and then the other Scandinavian countries like Norway and Sweden, things like that. They're like way up north. Mm-hmm. It's colder.
Yep.
It rains a lot. Mm-hmm. But they are consistently the happiest countries on the planet.
Yep.
And so it's just kind of like, how?
They also have some of like the top stuff in the world, like top education. And...
Oh, yeah. Finland.
Yeah.
There's actually, there's a course. I think it's Finland.
I think part of it's just that they've just learned how to live up there. Like they've just
Amen.
They've figured it out. And even though they tell people, no one else listens.
Yeah. They have a course called Find Your Inner Finn, Master in Happiness. And it's free. And it's a course on how to be happy like a Finn. And so I still have it saved because I want to take this class. Yeah, I just love this idea that they find happiness even though they're not in like Southern California. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like, and actually one of the things.
Oh yeah, yo, California, man. Did you hear about the woman who didn't get jail time for stabbing someone 108 times or something like that?
No.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. So there's that, and then there's Finland.
So, if I Google "woman stabbed, no get jail time," will that
probably
get me?
If you look up California. I mean, the woman didn't get stabbed. I'm pretty sure she stabbed like her boyfriend of like 3 weeks or something.
California woman gets probation for fatally stabbing man she dated, causing 108 sharp force injuries. 2 years probation and 100 hours of community service.
No jail time.
What? Is he alive?
No.
Oh, fatally stabbing.
Yeah.
So how is that? I was like, well, maybe since he's like, if he was alive, maybe how?
Even accidental manslaughter, you usually get jail time.
Yeah.
But
her defense was the psychotic state due to the high potency pot she smoked.
Which is BS, but that's beside the point.
She must complete 100 hours of public education on the dangers of THC consumption.
Yeah, I don't think any level of THC consumption will get you to the point of stabbing someone 108 times without some already malicious thought behind it in the first place, but...
Right. Also, doesn't somebody, like, even if you're drunk and you drive and you, like, hit and kill someone, don't you still get jail time?
Yep.
What a weird...
I mean, that's because you're supposed to make the decision not to drive, but you should also just,
not make the decision to
murder
people.
someone, so...
Whoa. That is... I'm so...
Hey, does anyone else want to leave the country with me?
Yeah. Wow.
I don't want California's and Florida's problems spread it out through the rest of the country.
I am normal. overall, I am somebody who believes in a justice system that should be more
Forgiving.
more restorative.
Restorative,
Like a
yes.
focus on restorative justice, which is another thing that Finland does well. Or is it Norway? It's one of those countries.
It's all of the Norwegian.
They do better. Well, Norwegian would be Norway, but they do
Nordic.
There you go. Everybody else does jail better than we do. Like,
Yes.
And treats their prisoners way better. We have this very strange idea in our country that if you have committed a crime, somehow you are less than human. And
Everything in America is about being less than human.
well, yeah, but it's this strange thing where we don't even care about, like, we make jokes about prison rape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like most decent people wouldn't make jokes about rape in any other context.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, it's okay because they're prisoners. So of course they should be subject to all kinds of violence, including sexual, in prison. And that's okay because they committed a crime. They got themselves there. It's such a bizarre freaking set of...
Especially since a lot of prison rape will end up in death for the person.
Where are you getting that statistic?
I'm just going to remember this, whatever it was that I...
Do you mean like because it's associated with other forms of
I
violence?
don't mean a lot as in most. I don't know if that's the case. I just know that a lot do because they'll just do lines on someone.
They'll do lines on
Like
someone.
they will form a line.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure how that ends in death, but either way, I mean, it's not okay that that's our attitude in this country, that like basically anything that happens to anybody after they commit a crime is somehow okay because they committed a crime. It's just such a bizarre...
Especially since our rate of incorrectly prosecuting someone is so high as well.
Exactly. Which is also... Okay, side note. The death penalty. The thing that I find interesting about the death penalty is it seems to be the only thing that certain people will 100% like wholeheartedly believe, but they won't apply that same logic to other things. I'm glad they don't. But like it's like, oh, well, that person killed a person, so then therefore they deserve to die. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, then if that's how you think justice works, then why shouldn't I be able to burn down the house of my arsonist? You know what I mean? Like, like it's just like, that's not how justice works. It's not like this thing happens and so therefore then you have that thing happen to you. You know?
I think the thought behind it is more like if someone did a terrible thing, then we want to remove the possibility of them doing the terrible thing again.
Yeah, that's what prison's for.
You burning down your arsonist's house doesn't
remove that possibility.
Yeah, it just sounds petty. Can we have a petty Keanu Reeves movie? I actually, basically the whole series is a petty Keanu Reeves movie.
Do you mean John Wick?
John Wick, yeah.
You killed my dog. I'm gonna, yeah. I get that. But it is such a bizarre thing that we think like, hey, what you did was wrong, so now we're going to do that same thing to you.
The main thing I'm confused about the death penalty is I'm confused why there's like a line. You think it would be quick to kill people. Like that sounds
You mean
horrible.
why people sit on death row?
Yeah.
Appeals.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah. So because people can appeal their sentences. Plus, constantly they're having trouble procuring the drugs to do the lethal injection because a lot of companies that make the drugs, I think that are used in other capacities, refuse to allow it to be used for that. And so...
Now we've come full circle back to the wholeheartedness.
Wholeheartedness?
Just the nice thoughts. Although it's for death row, so...
Oh, you mean like that it's nice that companies are like, hey, you can't use our drugs to kill people? I mean, that feels like that shouldn't be that much of a stretch.
it's nice to think that companies are doing that. And they're not just like, sure, another buyer.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, true. Bottom line, right? Yeah. But anyway, wow, that went all over the place.
We
But
went from comfort to the most
like
severe opposite.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, my point is I'm all for restorative justice, but that is like that's not even restorative. I don't think what she was sentenced to. That was like nothing. Like there needs to be a process in place, you know.
Yes.
But dang. I was
Although the best restorative justice I've seen so far is the woman that was it that she assaulted like some fast food worker or something like that, and then so her sentence was either like 60 days in jail or 60 days working at a fast food restaurant.
That's not really restorative justice, but it's an alternative punishment.
I mean,
you know, restorative justice is about communicating with your victim and also restoring the person.
But here's the thing is that after doing that, she's probably never going to do that
Let
again.
me tell you, everybody should have to work a fast food job or some kind of service job, whether it's retail or fast food or,
I
you know,
I haven't worked fast food, but working at the zoo.
Right. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, I mean, I guess that's not retail either, but amusement parks and zoos as well.
High
and
customer
service, high contact. Yeah. Like everybody should have to do that because it's so fast paced and it is, you deal with the worst of humanity. You know, because
you deal with the most impatient people ever.
Oh my gosh, everybody's impatient, and it's just they need a little hygge in their lives. Brought it back.
Hell yeah!
So anyway, speaking of hygge, the thing I always associate the most with hygge is the Danish sweaters, like the cozy sweaters that are super popular.
Oh, right now it's Stanley Cups too, apparently.
Yes, and Stanley Cup could be hygge. Sure. Yeah, anything that brings you comfort and is cozy, and I just like the whole concept, like because they apply it everywhere. Like even their stores and restaurants and stuff won't have fluorescent lights. They'll like lighting is one of the biggest, I think it's the very first chapter in the book on hygge. It's like, it's all about the lighting, which makes sense. Candles and fireplaces, like it's like soft lighting. And they won't do like the bright fluorescent lights because they're like, that's not
migraine inducing.
Well, yeah, right. Exactly.
They literally fuck with your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it's not the nicest thing. So anyway,
I hate that we changed to fluorescent lighting. I don't understand it.
You know what? I wonder if it's cheap.
I don't know. We discovered how to make the perfect light bulb in the like 80s or 90s. And we just said no because we wanted to make money.
I mean, I'm assuming there's a monetary thing, but I don't understand what the fluorescent, like how they're cheaper. I guess.
I don't know.
Oh, because their surface area is larger.
So?
Well, if you're trying to light up an entire store, you're going to get further with fewer.
That's true. I just don't understand it in a house then.
Yeah. You have,
the basement has 3 giant fluorescent lights in my room.
Oh my gosh, I never thought about that.
Like, what is the point of that?
We can replace those.
We just don't really use them.
Oh, that's right. You just don't turn on your lights, really.
Because I have that happy light. Mm-hmm. I just turn that up, and it lights up the whole room. The happy light.
Does that work for you? The happy light?
I don't know if it makes me happy, but it's light. It works. It is a functional alarm clock and light bulb.
I do find that the happy lights, I've noticed if I use a happy light, I don't like go, oh, I instantly feel better. But I've noticed like on days that I have it on, I seem to feel better than on days that I don't. When I had one in my office. I don't know why I don't have one in my office anymore, but I don't. But anyway, it's another good way of finding comfort during, the gray blah days of January.
Gray blah days.
January sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
It really does.
Accurate. Correcto.
Yeah, it really does. Which is, I think, why I was thinking about the concept of hygge again, because I was like, what are some things I could do that would create like that kind of comfort and coziness to kind of fight the, if I can't have sunshine in my windows,
You know what? COVID was a 2-year January.
That feels about right. Yeah. COVID sucked.
Yep.
So what would you find hygge? What brings you coziness?
Good snack. Good drink.
Oh, you make chai. You make your own chai.
I also make my own hot chocolates.
I would qualify that.
Just chilling with the girlfriend and playing or watching something, I guess.
The cat snuggling with you would be hygge.
Oh, that's true.
That's one of the things I miss most about June, our dog.
Poppy, come here.
Who died a year ago.
She's out.
Yeah, she is. June was a good snuggler.
June was a very good snuggler.
She was like a champion snuggler.
It's because she was her own weighted blanket.
She was, yes. And she also was just not a very energetic dog.
No.
So she was like, sleep? Yes. Lays around? Yes. Nap? Yes. But yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things that make me comfy.
Warm blanket.
Yeah.
Weighted blanket. I got one of those. Oh, it's right beside you. It's sitting on the chair there. The comfy. That's like that wearable blanket thing. I have to tell you, it is so warm. It is so warm.
Did they just like kill Snuggie and take their...
Yeah, basically. Except for you don't have to be wearing like a hospital gown of a blanket, It's like, this is, full all the way around you.
Yeah.
But it is super warm.
Oh, you know what? It's when I used to burrito inside of the...
Oh my gosh. That would be hygge.
I used to wrap myself in the blanket like
With
a burrito.
June.
With June too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we used to laugh because we would like try to come in to wake you up, and you really literally looked like a burrito. Like it was just like you were at one point we're like, why doesn't he just sleep in a sleeping bag? But you would like just twist that's true, you did. You just like twist the blankets around you, and then you'd burrito June in there with you, and she would just be like, cool. Like, this
her
is
head
awesome.
would just be next to mine on the pillow.
It was so cute.
Yeah, that's not happening with Shelby at all. She gets claustrophobic.
Yeah. So no burritoing, Shelby.
Nope.
Have you tried?
It's the middle of the night.
I don't think Poppy would put up with that. Cats aren't really as
They love tight spaces, but they don't like being put places.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah, for me, we have the fireplace, which is awesome, and then I still have the Christmas tree up because
it would be nice if the TV was still on the mantle, though.
I sometimes think that, and I sometimes don't. I mean, it would be kind of nice to be able to sit like right in front of the fire and watch a movie.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that the TV isn't over there because
you feel like if you want to sit in front of the fire, your options are more healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of in a way, like it kind of, I don't know, it makes it like this is the reading area almost,
Yeah.
But I mean, you could bring a tablet or laptop and you could still watch something in front of the fire, It's still nice, but yeah.
Friends, doing just like playing games with friends.
Do you do it by candlelight? Because I mean, I don't know if you count that as hygge.
I mean, I do light candles in my room. So,
Yeah.
so yes.
Oh, wait, so when you're playing games online.
Yes. I mean, or when people are here, that's fine too.
Yeah. Which
Does it have? Is it like specific things like there needs to be a fire within a vicinity, and
I don't know. It does almost feel that way. It almost feels like that has
I
to
feel
be.
like it's just got to be like some just like level of consistent comfort for people.
I feel like there's a specific idea that it's cozy, like cozy, not just enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think actually, you know what? That's a really good point. So I think like for me, the first thing I'm looking for in January to try to combat just the seasonal sadness stuff is the coziness. But the other one is the joy of stuff like hanging out with friends and playing games. And I have to say that playing Dungeons and Dragons with your friends has been a really great highlight. Like it's
been very fun.
It has been very fun. It is something that your dad and I both look forward to. And it is entertaining.
Maybe in a few weeks we'll have a catch up on D&D episode.
Well, I think we could just talk about Dungeons and Dragons right now.
It's true. We've only done a couple other sessions so far because we
That's
did
true.
miss a week from being sick.
Oh yeah, it's because everybody was sick. Yeah, that was terrible.
Well, everyone in this house.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Not the whole group, but that was miserable. But yeah, the second session was a little difficult for me. It felt a little trudgy.
It was definitely a like a tutorial dungeon. So like the entire session was one dungeon, and like some parts were interesting, but for the most part it was definitely like a tutorial for like how dungeons go.
Yeah,
And so it was kind of slow because since you guys are all supposed to be low level characters, it's not just gonna like keep throwing stuff at you because then
Right.
you will die.
Right,
So-
right, yeah, and yawn. Hold on. That kind of snuck up on me. And it was. Sorry, I'm like having trouble forming a sentence. Apparently, there were a lot of rooms that was just like we opened, and then we were like, well, we should look around, and there just really wasn't, anything in there. But we would keep looking, and there wasn't. And you were like, oh, it's just a normal object. Oh, it's just a normal. And we're like, oh, okay.
You guys did manage to like perfectly miss all the rooms that had interesting stuff. Because I mean, it's a full like 4-story house.
Yeah, and we only
And so you guys only hit the like filler rooms.
yeah, which I think is kind of funny. I mean, we did hit a little bit. We hit that weird thing in the basement with the chanting and all that. The cult, yeah.
Yeah.
And I looted something with Abris.
Oh yeah, you guys looted a reliquary, so you were just like looting a bunch of random stuff like a frog on a stick and like a halfling skull. Weird
Cape of ghoul skin.
Cape of ghoul skin, yeah. Which the merchant thought that you were just giving to him because he was like, why would I buy this when you tried selling it to him?
Yep. Yeah. So the third session was
okay.
What?
I will say one of the best parts about the second session was you just like totally tempting fate by lighting the torches next to the armor that you could literally see a magic aura around, and it just grabbed you.
Look, I'm learning.
And then hey, if it's anything that's going to scare you into being like more careful in dungeons, it's going to be inanimate objects suddenly being animated. Because
like the broom that attacked.
The broom that attacked my dad, yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah, one person, which this person, he's played this campaign before, so he knew what this was.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
And so that was the really funny part, is that I could tell that he was just sitting back and waiting for my dad to
waiting
touch it because he opened it and it was just a normal closet and he was
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever, I'm just gonna walk away. And then or I think he said like, can I see if it's like a flying broom or anything like that, somewhat jokingly. And since my dad's character is an air ganassi, he can levitate. So he was gonna be like, oh, I bet you it's a flying broom. And he was gonna go over and get on it and like cast levitate on himself to pretend like it's a flying broom.
Right.
But he grabbed it and then it smacked him in the head.
Yes.
And then they had to fight a broom.
Yes. Yeah. That was funny.
That was pretty funny.
Oh yeah. That was very entertaining. And then Abris found the bones of dead children, which is so nice, but returned them to their final resting place, which is what they wanted him to do. But I, of course, took credit for that in my song about session.
I will say that was like one of the best parts. One of the best parts about the third session was the beginning and the end. The beginning part was that instead of me doing the like previously
Recap?
on, it was you doing it in poetry form.
Yes. But
That was great. I loved that.
I only talked about myself.
Yes. You said all the heroic things that happened, you claimed to have done yourself.
I did it.
And you didn't mention the armor at all. Nope. That grabbed you.
Nope. Which is what my character's deal is. She is like Professor Lockhart from, I think we mentioned this before, from Harry Potter. Like, I take other people's heroics things and say that I did them.
You do realize that you've built an expectation now.
Oh yeah. I have some thoughts. No, this will come out before the next session. So I'm not gonna, I was gonna tell you one of the things I'm gonna do, but I don't want to do that. I doubt that
I don't think anyone's gonna listen to it the day of.
Yeah, but just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so the third session was a lot of fun. I didn't actually I was just like, oh, we can take whatever's in this reliquary in the second session. And so I was like, cool. I didn't actually realize like we could then like go and sell these things for money.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have stuff. I'll sell for money.
Which you guys ran into a very non-caring merchant that owns the only...
I think you mean merchant.
Merchant. Who owned the only mercantile.
Mercantile.
Yes, I kept saying mercantile at first. But he owns the only mercantile in the area, so they kept asking him for like 50 gold for like a gem or something. And he was like, I'll give you 20.
Right, yeah. Like, where else are you going to go? But yeah.
Which was pretty funny.
But that was funny. Oh, and also, I forgot, Abris asked me to include him in my next song and gave me a gold coin to do so.
Oh yeah. I've got a feeling that's also gonna be a thing, is people are gonna start paying you to have them in your songs, which is so amazing.
Toss
I love
a coin
it so
to
much.
your witcher.
I loved the whole funeral thing. That was just a whole mess. I don't think we have enough time to explain it, but it was very chaotic.
It was very chaotic. We agreed to help somebody lay their dead father to rest.
Yeah. But there was like an undead in the church that you guys like were trying to figure out what to do with, and meanwhile Hulk is just chilling with the coffin out back, just waiting for you guys and the priest to come back. And yeah, it was a whole thing.
You know, I'll refer to them by character names. Tempor was like super angry about trying to vanquish this vampire in any way. It's like very much like, let this vampire go. You don't know this is actually a vampire. Vampires don't exist. And, you know.
Yeah, Abris is convinced that vampires don't exist.
Yes.
Which, by the way, this is a vampire campaign. Who the main bad guy is a vampire.
Oh, okay. That's helpful to know.
Well, it's just that the main bad guy, which you guys have now learned, which is why I'm okay with saying it, is a vampire. So the fact that him saying that vampires don't exist is very
It's very funny. Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, what? Vampires don't exist? What do you mean? And so anytime that somebody mentions a vampire in the campaign, he's like, that's absurd. Vampires don't exist. Which this is coming from the person that has DM'd this campaign before. So which makes it even more funny.
Oh, that I forgot about that. That's
Yeah.
funny. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I have to say, I feel like, so from what you've told me,
Yeah.
different types of people have different types of campaigns. Like,
Oh, for sure.
and they act, role play. I keep saying play act, but I know it's a role playing game. I don't know why I don't
Yeah, it's
say
literally called a TTRPG.
role play. I have to say, I don't think I would enjoy it as much if I was with a group that wasn't interested in role playing.
Yeah. Because there's definitely some groups that are like survival heavy. So they'll do like a lot of survival rules. Like, you know how I have you guys like focus on your food and water and stuff to like, but that's just to keep kind of the realism going. But there are some groups that will like hardcore be like, you need to eat this time.
Oh, dang.
Otherwise you're going to like start gaining exhaustion and
wow.
you need to like hunt for your food.
Oh, okay.
Some groups are like just combat all the time, which doesn't sound interesting to me.
Well, and I can also see some people just being like, I go to this and do this, and not like interact at all with, like, just kind of narrate their actions, but not really interact with the other players in character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think that's what makes it fun is, some of like the side conversations that don't really matter. Like, it doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like, you could just, if you were playing a board game, for example, you would just be like, oh, this happens. And so therefore you move to this square and then you pull this card and like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just very like transactional. It's just,
We also had the first whisper that session as well.
The first what?
Whisper. So different groups call it different things, but it's something where a character does something, and so the DM will like come up to you and whisper in your ear something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You private chatted something to your dad.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That was the first whisper of the campaign. So there are certain things like that where it's like, because there was stuff like that one time where you guys saw someone hanging. All of you guys saw the same thing except for Tempor that saw themselves hanging.
Right.
And
but you said that to the whole
yeah,
group.
I said that to the whole group because I knew it was going to be a quick role playing thing. It wasn't like a
right, because then he played it out, so we knew, like, yeah.
And but like stuff that's going to be hidden for longer than that, I will whisper to you.
Right, yeah.
But after that, you guys went to which this has been very interesting because this has collided a lot of your guys' like leads is what I called them. I called them leads for how you guys started the campaign. Like you started the campaign by dancing and singing and drinking with this group of Vistani who were at this camp that you guys had just arrived at. And so they were like, oh, hey, which at first you forgot about it. So you're like, hi. And then I told you and you're like, oh, hey. And then two of our characters were also tracking them down, which is how they met you. It's because they tracked them to your camp.
Oh, right. Yeah. Can I just tell you, I did not know all of that until just now.
Oh, really?
I did not understand that that's what was happening.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
Well, you're welcome for the clarification, man.
Thank you.
Sorry to the people that might have been trying to keep that secret, but I don't think they were.
Well, I knew Tempor was looking for the Vistani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so you guys had some interesting connections there. They told you an interesting story about the area with a great wizard.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Actually, I should probably send that in the Discord chat
Yeah,
too.
because I already forgot about it.
But then you guys went into Madame Eva's tent.
Yes.
Which you guys got your fortunes told.
Interesting.
That was one of the best parts about that session, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was super fun. It definitely left on a cliffhanger, I think, for everyone, because everyone was just questioning themselves.
Well, also you like then revealed some things about our characters that we hadn't revealed yet.
Divination magic, baby. Yeah, so the fortune teller like told a little bit, basically said everyone's names and then told a little bit about them very obscurely. So I don't think anyone actually knows what they mean except for that person that heard it. You know?
Yeah, but still there were hints of things, I think.
Exactly.
So that where we could be like, oh, what's that about? You know?
And then you guys got these cards that told you of some object or thing or something like that and told you where you might be able to find it.
Yes.
And so all of you guys are trying, because that was like a whole riddle. And so all of you guys are trying to decrypt it. And I remember Abris was asking Madame Eva, I was playing, and was trying to get clarification. And she was like, I told you everything that you need to know. I was perfectly clear about it.
Yeah, I have to say, I'll emphasize again how much January sucks. And like when you're in winter time and it's gray and it's just also
and you're looking to be cozy,
cold, and right, and you're looking to be cozy, and like, you know, for a while it was like super cold, but at least the sun was out. And then it's just been raining constantly. Like it's been raining for days.
It's been raining for like a straight week.
Yes, it has, which really sucks because we got a wood delivery in the middle of that, and
yeah, it's just wet wood now.
Yeah, so it's not great. When I feel like it's pretty common for people to go through seasonal depression.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you're looking for something to brighten your day and something to like look forward to and be creative and everything, I think Dungeons and Dragons is a great,
if you know a group of people that are willing to give it a shot, definitely do it.
Yeah.
And I would say lay out the groundwork too, because there are some people that go into it with expectations. What you want to do is you want to lay out the groundwork beforehand so that way you can change any misinterpreted expectations.
Yeah. That's good.
Because you want to like make sure that everyone's on the same page on how everyone wants to play.
Right.
You're on the same page that everyone is new. So people who aren't going to be as quick about picking stuff up, you need to give them a break.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Problem is for you is that we now have like a ton of seasonal people that or seasoned people that's
I was like seasonal people.
That you're playing with, and so you ask a question, everyone's answering at once.
Yeah, that's true. I get like 5 answers. Yeah.
I'm like, let the DM speak.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I recommend it. And even if you're like, we don't have anybody who really knows Dungeons and Dragons, that feels like a lot. Just get your friends together, play a game, even if it's just like a simple card game.
Yeah, there's some really cheap but good card games. And there's even
Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was all one title of a game.
Honestly, I think some of the best ones are card games. Because card games are usually very cheap.
They're cheap. They're portable, and a lot of times that means they're lighthearted. Because you don't have like this giant map and like 5 million little widgets and stuff.
And the rules are usually on the cards. you don't usually have to.
Right, there's not a lot of learning involved. Although I really enjoy the Star Wars game we just got.
Star Wars deck building game.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that. But yeah, like things like Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is more of like a party game. It's very simple and it's funny. When we played it with your
Monikers is hilarious.
Yes, and Monikers. I was going to mention Monikers next. You know what?
Cards Against Humanity.
Honestly, Monikers, I cannot recommend that game enough. It's
very good.
It is so much fun. Because it's a mixture of like taboo, charades, and password.
I will say there is a point where it's like you've owned it for so long and you've played it for so long that you start to get like used to it. And so you start to like know all the cards and stuff.
There's expansions that you can get. Yeah, so I'd probably get one of those.
The good part about that as well, though, is that you at that point have created some tradition behind a card that doesn't make any sense, but everyone will know exactly what you're talking about when you do it.
Yeah, it is. It always ends in hilarity. That's all I can say. There's just, but anyway. So yeah, try to fight those blues with.
What's it?
Yeah.
The Hygge.
The Hygge.
The Hygge.
Beat the blues with the Hygge. Yeah, either with little Hygge or fun with friends.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like fun with friends, for me at least, is Hygge.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you have it.
Let me have it. Thank you. Thank you for letting me.
As long as you light a candle while you're playing games.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Start the fireplace.
Yes. All right. Well, I think it's about that time.
Well,
time to go.